This is The Locker Room, where the coaches of Husson University talk sports.
Welcome to The Locker Room. I'm your host, Mason Cycenas-Heimer. My guest today is Garret Jordan. Garret is a junior goalkeeper for Husson University. He's from Thornton, Colorado, and is majoring in exercise science. How are you doing today, Garret?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty solid. So, starting off pretty simple, how'd you get into soccer?
So it's actually kind of a funny story. So growing up, it was just my mom and I. She, couldn't deal with the rambunctious little boy and decided to put me in the one sport where you run the most. Happened to pick the one position where I don't run at all. But yeah, so that's kind of how it all started.
So it was basically just an exercise and you fell in love with it?
Yep, exactly.
That's pretty awesome. So growing up in Colorado, especially being cold, somewhat like Maine, what are some disadvantages for sports?
Well, obviously, like you said, the weather. I mean, it's super cold. The snow is pretty brutal. I would say the altitude makes it so much worse. But overall, I mean, there's not many disadvantages to the sports. I mean, facilities are usually pretty good. Money in sports is usually pretty good. If you have competition everywhere. So.
And with the altitude, did you struggle with that growing up? Because I know that's a big factor for professional sports teams that play in Colorado.
So for me, it didn't really affect me that much. I was born there, I grew up there, so it didn't bother me too much. I would say that after when I came to Maine and then came back to Colorado for summer and that kind of thing, there's definitely a little bit of an adjustment period.
Yeah. And from that travel from Maine to Colorado, what interested you in Husson?
So I used to play for the Rapids. It's a youth soccer club down in Colorado. And my goalkeeper coach, Brian Potter, he's an alumni here.
Oh, that's cool.
Like 2014, I want to say. He knew that I wanted to play in college, and he's like, hey, what do you want to study? I said physical therapy and exercise science. And he's like, well, the school I went to happens to have really good PT and then a pretty solid soccer program.
Did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them after that?
So actually at the time, it was the old coach, and he reached out to me.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So what was your favorite experience at Husson, either on or off the field?
I have to say on the field, favorite experiences are probably, I want to say, playing against Thomas is always a good one, especially winning. They give us a rivalry match every single time, and it's physical, it's loud, it's fun. The boys get excited.
It's always good to beat your rival.
It's always good.
And what was your favorite experience off the field?
Off the field, I mean, just hanging out with the guys, I mean, we go play FIFA in the esports room sometimes. I'm in the DLC now, so we do FIFA stuff in there a lot. Dinners especially, team dinners, even if it's just in the dining hall.
Just building up the team camaraderie?
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. And so did you change anything about the way you played year after year here at Husson?
Actually, I did. So Matt Goodman, our goalkeeper coach, he's a very different style coach than I've ever had in my life. He's very, physical, claim everything in the air, be big, be loud, that kind of thing. And, coming from Colorado, I was just more of an agile, shot-stopping goalkeeper. So when I got here, it was a bit of an adjustment. This year, I think, is probably the most comfortable I felt with his style. But
that's pretty awesome. And so how has Coach Bermudez and your goalie coach helped your game evolve since you've gotten here?
I mean, Carlos, he gives me so much attention, and he gets me, a lot of advice. He has definitely helped my overall IQ. I would say Matt, the goalkeeper coach, he definitely just helped me, settle into my style, settle into the college style. As a goalkeeper, it's very different in college, especially in New England. They're all big, they're all physical, and I'm not the biggest guy. So,
do you have any specific examples of advice that Coach Bermudez has given you?
So Coach Bermudez, Carlos, he actually pulled me aside and he's like, you're our junior goalkeeper. We need you to step up, be a leader on and off the field. And I think I'm filling that role pretty well. I'm a lead by example kind of guy, so that's kind of the biggest one that he's given me this season.
That's pretty cool. And what are some challenges you faced this year, especially being that upperclassman goalkeeper?
Yeah, so challenges that I'd say I faced, we played Tufts, which is obviously a very, very good program. Got a little bit of an injury, set me back. Our now goalkeeper, Liam, he played very well that game, and he just kind of never got out of the rhythm. So I'd say that's the biggest challenge, is kind of fighting to get back in there while also supporting everybody else.
And so going off of that, how do you stay confident, especially switching on and off the pitch at times like that?
I'd say, honestly, it's been different because, back in Colorado, I was always starting, never had any backups, any of that. My confidence, I'd say I just, play the way I know how to play, do what I know how to do, and that's all I can do, put in 100% effort.
And being a goalkeeper, it's definitely easy to get anxious in certain high-stress moments. How do you stay calm in those high-stress moments, such as a penalty or overtime?
So penalty kicks, the thing I always do is I take my time. You don't have to stand right on the line as soon as they call the penalty. I'll usually stand on the post, maybe kick it a few times, get in the, striker's head. Always take a breath, think of my family, and then, commit to a decision, trust my gut.
That's good. And last question here. So you're an exercise science major and as well as a goalkeeper on the soccer team. What are your goals for after college?
So like I said earlier, I want to be a physical therapist.
Yep.
I'd like to do sports rehab and orthopedic rehab. I did 400 clinical rotation hours this summer, just observing, working a little bit with patients, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of my goal, open a clinic, be a physical therapist.
All right, that's cool. And that was The Locker Room. I'm Mason Cycenas-Heimer. Thank you for joining us.